When we hit our lowest point, we are open to the greatest change. It's time to take back control of your life.
Be the hero of your own movie.
Stop getting distracted.
Write down things you want to improve.
Stop putting off your goals.
Write down things you won't tolerate from yourself.
And actually get serious about your life.
Write down things that you've done in the past that you never want to see yourself do again.
Like, I get it. You're tired of being average and you really want to make a change in your life. I fully understand that feeling because it was around this time last year where I finally had that moment where I thought to myself, enough is enough. And I wanted to turn my life around.
Do you actually want to do this or not?
I was tired of having no discipline.
Because if you actually want to do it, what's going to stop you? Nothing.
Tired of constantly breaking the promises I made to myself.
Stop complaining about the results you didn't get from the work you didn't put in.
Tired of feeling anxious that I was behind in life.
The only way to become more successful than most people is to be willing to do something most people aren't willing to do.
And I was ultimately just sick of distracting myself with activities that were holding me back. And if I'm being honest, at that time I was angry with myself because I felt like I was letting myself down. And that's the reason why I'm making this video, because I was thinking the other day, what steps did I actually take to go from being the guy I just described over a year ago to now actually becoming a person who is pretty disciplined and actually enjoys working on his goals. So this video is going to be a step-by-step guide on how I took back control of my life. So stop looking for that next motivational video, stop looking for things to distract yourself with, and just focus. Because you can literally decide right now to let go of your past mistakes and become a person you're proud of. The first thing I had to do was ruthlessly eliminate things that were no good for me. Because if you want to add healthy activities into your life, you are going to have to remove activities that take away your time. Because understand, you can't do both. It doesn't work. The three biggest things I eliminated, and as a result caused a huge increase in my productivity and overall sense of well-being, was BS food, cheap dopamine activities, and negative people. I don't know if you realize, but having a clean diet is the ultimate productivity hack. It literally makes you feel like you have a superhuman brain. I've researched countless big entrepreneurs, and the majority of them all eat super clean. Like, do you ever notice after you eat, you always feel too tired to do your work? Well, in my super simplified bro science terms, that's because the carbs you are eating temporarily spike your blood sugar levels. So insulin is released to lower your blood sugar, which results in a temporary energy crash. So I find it much easier to not eat any carbs during my work hours to avoid this fatigue, and instead, if I'm eating any carbs, I will eat them in the evening, and I find this makes me far more productive. Because it makes you feel like you've got your proper energy back. And it's also incredibly important to just limit the amount of processed food you are consuming in general. Because as well as it being just terrible for your body, it actually causes you to feel not as sharp mentally. And once you stop eating all these processed foods, you will realize how much brain fog you had because of them. Because me personally, I always end up regretting that I've ate it, and it causes me to feel extremely tired and sluggish. Also, in terms of diet, I highly recommend you limit your alcohol consumption because it kills your productivity and lowers your testosterone. And when I pretty much stopped consuming it, that's when I seen huge exponential growth in my life, because it gives you your mental sharpness back and removes your brain fog. And if you are serious about taking back control of your life, it's vital you eliminate cheap dopamine in the form of excessive content consumption, binge watching shows, gaming, and all that other stuff you know you shouldn't be watching. Like, how are you ever going to find fulfillment from your goals or just simple things in general when your dopamine is fried? I hear people give this advice out all the time, but I'm still shocked at how many people are affected by this. And look, I know it's not easy. I even still fall for some YouTube shorts from time to time. But if you replace these cheap dopamine activities for your goals and good habits, you will start to find real enjoyment from your life again. And you will start to feel good about yourself. because most people are so addicted to this cheap dopamine that they actually get to a stage where they don't even want to be consuming it anymore, but they can't stop themselves. And the key to stopping this bad habit is to replace it with a positive one, because you will never be able to stop it if you don't replace it with something. Because if you just leave that time idle, you are going to end up scrolling or binge watching some show. Anyway, the next thing you need to do, which is so important, is create a positive environment. And what I mean by this is limit your contact with negative and fixed-minded people that bring bad energy to your life. I'm not saying to resent them or get angry with them, but just distance yourself a little, because I'm sure you've heard the famous quote before: you are the sum of the 5 people you spent the most time with. So try to spend your time around people who motivate and inspire you, and watch how their good habits, actions, and ways of thinking rub off on you, because that's what I've implemented in my life over this last year, and I can't even explain how much of a positive effect this will have on you, because it is literally such a huge accelerator for growth. And it also just helps when you have people around you that can keep you accountable with your goals. And this also goes for the content you are consuming, because you are literally constantly consuming other people's habits and ways of thinking by consuming their content. So this can either negatively impact you or really positively affect you, depending on what you are watching. Because if you are watching people who inspire, educate, and improve your ways of thinking, that is going to have a positive compounding effect on your life, instead of the negative ways of thinking and the distractions that you would get from consuming garbage content. Because what consumes your mind controls your life. And in order for me to take back control of my life, I had to add in some strict non-negotiables to structure my life. I had to plan tomorrow today, because how are you meant to get anything done if you wake up and don't know what your objectives are for the day? I also started to wake up at 6 AM every morning to do a hard gym session with my mates, and I honestly cannot explain how life-changing getting up early is, because it genuinely feels like you have far more time in the day to do things, and it causes you to become really productive. And this is because you end up getting work done, because early in the morning there are no distractions, and you aren't going to end up wasting time when you have went through the effort of getting up early. And I understand if you really struggle with getting up early, because I always found it so difficult, but when you really break it down, all you have to do is go to bed earlier, and over the course of a week or so, your body will end up adjusting to this new waking up and going to bed schedule you've created for yourself. And I always say this, but you need to set yourself a clear goal, because it's so much easier to take control of your life when you are pursuing a clear objective, because it makes eliminating all the distractions and implementing all these good habits so much easier, because it makes you feel like you have an actual reason for doing them. And lastly, you honestly just need to start building your discipline, because I can tell you all these good things that will improve your life, but it all means nothing if you don't take action. So start asking yourself, how badly do you really want it? Because there are going to be some days you're just going to want to sleep in and skip working on yourself and your goals. But these days are the most important, because if you can push through them tough days where you don't want to do it and do it anyway, they are going to be the days that grow you. Because even at the stage I'm at now, I still have countless days I really just feel like I couldn't be bothered to work on my goals. Like this morning, for example, my alarm rang at 5:45 and my brain was overwhelming me with thoughts of sleeping in and skipping the gym, but I put my feelings to the side and went anyway, because you have to realize your brain is always going to look for the most comfortable option. So at times you have to stop listening to it and understand starting is the hardest part. So be ready for the resistance your mind is going to give you, and if you can give yourself a way, it will allow you to get through that hard stage, and you will have gained that positive momentum that allows you to really improve every aspect of your life. Because once you get your first few wins, it will give you so much motivation. And what brings more confidence is to just trust that God will let it all work out for you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe so you can join this community of like-minded people who are trying to improve, and comment down below the clear goal you are going to set for yourself. And remember, through hard work we grow. Peace.